You're such an asshole.
Oh, God, I'm tired. We got an interesting request, and if you have an interesting request, you could send it to Asshole Consulting. Why the world's only professional asshole will give you the answers you need. Ba 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 ba. Mr. Asshole, long-time leech, first-time customer. I'd like a medium rare video response, extra anonymity, hold 30% of the ball busting, please. Before we begin, this isn't so much me needing an answer as me wanting quality entertainment. Name your price. I, a youngish male, but not so young, you don't have any experience behind your ears, was recently getting a haircut by an older woman I've been using for a while. As you do in these types of situations, small talk is made. In this particular instance, she talked extensively about her new vehicle. I won't say what it was. She just purchased behind her husband's back, I might add. I apologize in advance for my language. I'm quite literally a person who curses a lot. Eventually, she asked me if I had my eyes on any new cars in particular. For reference, I drive an older vehicle that you maintain. In response to her query, and I'm, of course, paraphrasing here, I love this. No, I much rather my 25-hour work week than to slaving away for a stupid effing vehicle that she purchased. So you named the vehicle she purchased. You said stupid fucking. She was quiet for about 5 seconds or so before going right back to talking about how much she loves her new car. It's Cameron. It's Cameron from Ferris Bueller's Day Out. You love a car. You love a fucking car. My question for you, Mr. Ass, is do you genuinely believe that this nearly 60-year-old woman prefers her new Kia over spending time with her grandchildren? Or do you think her brain is trying to help her cope with the fact she's made a financial mistake one might expect from a teenager? Don't be afraid to make this one short as you want. Enjoy your time off. I look forward to hearing you next month. Okay, I'll drop this philosophical point before my outline I have because it required a little bit of note taking because the fact she bought the car means she does. Okay. I've always said your parents don't love you as much as yourself. Not all parents. When we're talking about parents, when they do things for their own benefit at the child's expense, it doesn't mean they love you. It means they love themselves more than they love you. For example, getting divorced or marrying the wrong person and then bringing any unfortunate children into that scenario. The vast majority of parents love their children, but the vast majority of American parents, I don't know about other cultures, maybe you like your kids, love themselves more than they love their kids. Otherwise, you wouldn't have gotten divorced. And so I don't want to say your parents don't love you. This elderly woman, no doubt, loves her children, loves her grandchildren, but in her decision, one, it tells you everything that you need to know. She loves the car more than she loves the time that she would spend with the children or the grandchildren, right? So that's one thing because she's made the choice. And the other thing is you have nothing but people's actions to go by. And now you get into it's not a slippery slope, but the impossible task of asking what lurks deep inside the hearts of people. It doesn't matter what Aaron, all my girlfriends cry themselves to sleep. They wish they could find a guy. That's not men's problems, and that doesn't matter. That doesn't count. That shouldn't be factored into the calculus. You shot down 10 guys at the nightclub, and then you went and cried yourself to sleep. It doesn't matter that you cried yourself to sleep that night. You shot 10 guys down at the nightclub. You made it very clear your actions, which is all that counts and all that anyone can act on in the real world, is what you did. And it doesn't matter what you think up here or feel here. What did you do? That's what is. And so this woman decided I can't imagine a hairdresser's salary is worth that much. So she's got payments now. She has enslaved herself because the vehicle she bought was okay. Let me put it. I want to be I love these comparisons because it tells you everything about humans and how fucking worthless they are. the time that she could have otherwise spent with her kids or grandchildren or just other humans in her life was not worth the time she had to spend working to pay for the payment so she could own the vehicle, so she could not even necessarily drive it. I don't even think it's the joy of driving. I think it's the joy of owning it, I would say, because she doesn't shut up about it. Owning that vehicle is more important than the time spending with family members in general. Because if she wanted to spend time with the family members more than she wanted the vehicle, she would spend that time instead of working to pay for the car. See, there we go. That's your answer. Now you have my question is, do you genuinely believe that this nearly 60-year-old woman prefers her new vehicle over spending? Yes. Yes, I do. Or do you think her brain is trying to help cope with the fact she's made a financial mistake one might expect from a teenager? There is also that. That's not an or, that's an also. You always regret your opportunity cost because it's the next biggest cost. So now, no doubt, they think like everyone thinks, oh, I'm just going to go with this and make my decision, and there's no regret. Why are women crying? Presumably, I don't know. We don't have cameras up. Why do girls presumably cry themselves to sleep after a night of the nightclub shooting down guys? I guess they regret their decision, but they did make their choice. They preferred to do that. That was their choice. So there is regret. There is ruining, or geez, what could have happened if I did the different thing? That's true. That happens. And maybe she just was looking for validation from you. Like, look, I got this asset. Aren't I great and amazing? No, you're just another worthless human being that really doesn't matter if you ever existed in your life or not. Maybe she's going for that, searching for compliments, fishing for compliments. But it's not or. I think she also regrets it, which is horrible when you think about it. But she still valued, if she valued the kids more, she would have gone with the kids. I'm just going through your request here. We can't make it short because you're talking about something that's very important. So in this paragraph you write here, my question to you, Mr. Ass, is do you genuinely believe this nearly 6-year-old woman prefers her new Kia over spending time with her grandchildren? Do you think her brain is trying to help cope with the fact that she's made a financial mistake one might expect from a teenager? Here we have to bring in her value system. The value system that she was, you're born in, like, as an infant, do you want a car? Do you want to spend time with your children? Like, you don't understand these concepts. What we need to know is what was the value system this 60-year-old woman grew up with and ultimately operates by today to make the decision that a thing is more valuable than spending time with her grandchildren or children. That's what we got to get to. It does not change the fact that she still values things over human beings. I just want to know the pathology. I want to know how we got here. And I think men and women, regardless, I know you're asking about women, but this is universal. In the United States especially, we are brought up with the religion of not only socialism, but materialism, which is ironically contradicting, but I don't care. You're brought up like you have to have brand this, you got to have a fancy car. Men obviously are susceptible to that, though I think men still get it to get girls, but there's also dude, bro, Beamer, bro. So there are men who love things more than they love their own children, obviously. These guys, I mean, how many times has a guy liked an orgasm more than they love their kid? Too stupid to wrap it up, and out comes this kid they don't really care about, and they shirk their duties. All right, so men are guilty of this too. I'm just, in this particular case, materialism. But we ingrain in most Americans that you need things and stuff. You need a brand, cars especially, clothes, I guess, although maybe that's gone away. You need a McHouse in the McSuburbs and granite countertops, the keeping up with the Joneses fight and all that. And this doesn't excuse her, but it explains that she's 60. She's not that much older than me. She was peak 80s materialism. That, like I said, no one really ever grows up past high school, and they're still doing it. They're still doing this dick size comparing competition comparison thing, although it's girls with their thing. And that's how a shockingly high percent of people who are older and should be wiser and know better but don't, that's a shocking percentage of the people that operate that way. I know old people who have to live in the fanciest apartments in their retirement years. It's sad. They have to have the fanciest cars. You will never see me driving a brand new Lexus. It just won't happen. I will find one of my nieces and nephews who has worked hard as an adult. I mean, because presumably I'll be old and they'll be adults. You give kids a little bit of money, but you don't give them life-changing money. I will help out a niece or a nephew that is working hard and struggling because of bad luck or whatever. Just life is tough. Then I'd be like, here's 10 grand, kid. I don't need the SUV. Because I'm going to die soon. The money, might as well start giving it away to people that had genuine and needed help. Old people know these baby boomers, which I guess let's throw into that category, but my generation especially as well. It's not going to change with the Xers. It's still Queen Bee. It's still, look at this fancy car I got. It's still fucking high school from 1989. And they carry it on. Now, there's biological Darwinian evolutionary reasons for this. You would, just like a dog eats until it pukes, humans are still operating on this old firmware from almost 2 million years ago. Like, you better eat now because you know where the meal's coming. And what I've noticed in spending, this is why I have my minimalism course, which is not open for enrollment anymore. The link below is a course that's adjacent to it called Achieving Financial Excellence, but you could take that and they'll kind of make somewhat of a similar point. But it's made the jump from consuming food to consuming everything. Cars, clothes, this, that, because you don't know if you're ever going to find clothes at Walmart again. You don't know if there's ever going to be a car again. And so just as people have a hard time saying no to food because you're genetically programmed to eat more because you don't know when your next meal is coming, genetically speaking, we've oddly enough made that jump, perhaps with a little bit of push of marketing and advertising by corporate America. Like, well, you need a lot more stuff and things. And I will say women hoard more than men, though there are male hoarders, but especially women. They love stuff more than they love people. I'll stand by that statement. I'll stand by that one. You go look at, they love stuff more than they love people, including their own family members. That much is very clear. Not all, of course, but generally speaking. But there's a biological compunction to that. There's a biological force pushing people. Like right now, do you not want a donut? Who here doesn't want a donut? I want a donut. Right? But some of us are stronger-willed people who say, no, I'm not going to have the donut because that's going to make me fat. But I'll tell you, here, another statement. My team is superior to the average person. Average person is weak. Average person is a fat fuck who can't turn down the donut. And so its origins are in survival, to avoid starvation, to live. And because they lack that intelligence and willpower, they don't make the distinction that, okay, I'm not going to starve. I don't need the brand new car. I ought to spend time with my grandchildren. They're that stupid. They're that weak. They're that short-sighted that they'll go buy the thing instead of spend time with their children. Even they don't need the thing, whatever that thing is, donut or brand new car. Doesn't matter. They will ruin, in this particular case, women, though men too. We're neck and neck on obesity. The sexes will ruin themselves for each other physically by getting fat. You will ruin yourself for your spouse because you love food more than you love your spouse. That's both men and women. And you're all disgusting fat pigs for it, and you should be ashamed, but you're not capable of shame because you're all a bunch of fat, lazy pigs. And so these are very powerful forces that we're dealing with. Then you have the social, societal conditioning of, dude, bro, aren't those Nike high tops? Don't you have Cavaricci pants? Look at that loser. Look at that square. And it continues on. Now, yeah, this gal was no more than, she was 10 years ahead of me in school. Yeah, she graduated in the 80s then, probably. Peak materialism. And she's still playing that game. There's also the philosophical thing. Do these people have lives? Like, if you have no life, if you have no accomplishment, you've achieved nothing, you're a hairdresser, which is fine if you've raised and been a good wife and mother and you have a family. But if this gal is divorced, I'm going to guess, and there is no family, because I don't know, she loves stuff more than she loved her children, consequently grandchildren. What else do these people have? They don't have any accomplishments. They don't have any feats. They don't have real careers. And so, especially in America, for 11.5% APR, you can finance purpose, meaning, look, you got a car. Aren't you cool? Look at that. And what's funny is the American fat, disgusting sheep pigs will worship it. Dude, check it out. That's great, man. It's just a couch. We're in the minority with Lester Burnham. It's just a couch. And so I'm going to guess she's got nothing else in life. And instead of working hard, I don't know, becoming whatever, it's pretty late by that stage. She's lost her beauty, so that's also gone. Oh, I'm going to buy things. I'm going to buy stuff. He who has the most toys wins. You got that. So those are all the incentives and the motives that drive to it. But yeah, generally speaking, I don't care how we got to this point. I don't care if it's biological. I don't care if it's society conditioned. I don't care if it's the threat of starvation and death that drives you to do it. And you can't irrationally realize, no, we're not going to starve. There's plenty of food at Walmart. Look at all the fat people. I don't care how we got to this point. But it is a fact, the majority of people would prefer stuff over their own flesh and blood. Child, grandchild, husband, wife, doesn't matter. And prove me wrong. All I got to do is look around. You drop your kids off at daycare. And the fact people are okay with that. I had to, in the book I talk about this, the upcoming book, A World Without Men, there's some surprisingly detailed data about what percent of families, loosely defined as they are, for all, single mom, single dad, ages. And I was like, why did you get all the data for this and not this thing over here that would have been very helpful? It's hard to figure out what percent of families outsource their kids to daycare. Because one, what is a family? Is it the single moms? Well, obviously they're single dads. They're also going to use daycare more. Is outsourcing the raising of your child to a family member considered daycare and shirking your duties as a parent? How frequently do you do it? Is it once a week? Oh, well, that's just babysitting. Yeah, you and the missus got to get it on and go have a life too. And grandma probably wants to watch over the grandchild there, except this one who wants to sit in a car. Is it 3 to 4 times a week? How old is the kid? Is it an infant? Is it 6 months to 2 years? They got like all these like really detailed things. Then the kid becomes 5. Well, they go, is school considered daycare? They call it program. So this is, the data is in there depending on what assumptions you want to use. But roughly, ever so roughly, a third, plus or minus, depending on your assumptions you want to make, 1 in 3 families, parents, single, broken home, doesn't matter, outsource their parenting to daycare. Just a fact. Roughly a third, around there. You're going to pay other people to raise your kids so you can go buy shit. It's horrible. It's horrible. But them's the facts. Them's the facts. These people love their shit more than they love the couch more than they love their husbands. They love their car more than they love their children. Ladies, you love your careers more than you love your own goddamn kids. And you love your kids. I'm not saying you don't, but you love your career a little bit this much more. But which ultimately you say, well, what's the career? Well, it's to buy shit. You love your shit more than you love your kids. And prove me wrong. I got plenty of data. You can yell and scream and get all pissed off and cry yourself to sleep like the party girl shot down 10 guys. But the actions at the end of the day, most people don't love their kids more than themselves. That's it. And here's just another perfect example. And now we could argue this is, a 60-year-old woman. Now she's looking at end of life. We know she's a hairstylist. We know there's no great accomplishments in her life. If she, like, let's say, well, what if she raised her family and she was a really good mom and stayed at home and then she just did this on the side? Good. Then she would be spending time with the grandchildren and not the brand new car. See what I'm saying? You're right. If it is, yes, that would be a very typical traditional, okay, June and Ward get married. Wally and the Beef go off to college, become things. And then June's like, well, I don't know, babe. I'm just going to go down to the hair salon and just a little side gig. That'd be perfectly fine. But if Wally and the Beef came home or any grandchildren, June would be like, F this, I'm going to go and hang out with my grandchildren. But that's a World War II generation woman, not baby boomers. Come on, baby, light my... What was... So Jim Moronson, he should be, come on, baby, light my fire. That would be for the male boomers. And then, don't you want somebody to love? Oh, you're dead on a toilet. Janis Joplin, that's for you, baby boomer women. Don't you want to die on the toilet? Don't you want to puke up your guts? Don't you want to die on a toilet? Michael Jacoby, $5. Cap, I joined the Army National Guard to pay for college for a STEM degree. I ship out for basic on November 8th. Do you have any last minute advice? Not really. I was never in the military. I know when you go to basic, I don't know. Modern day basic sounds like a cakewalk. Just shut up. Do what the sergeant tells you. Yes, sergeant. No, sergeant. If you get a real drill instructor, they're like actually going to put you through your paces. Don't take it personal. They're supposed to treat you like shit. Although I don't know. Maybe everyone holds and cups each other's vagina in the military now for basic training. I don't know what you got. Maybe you sing songs and hold hands. Yeah, just I don't know. Don't fuck up. Shut up. Like, don't say you have no opinions. Just do what you're told. Get into the mind of a robot soldier. That's what you are. You are a soldier. You are a robot. Go and do the thing your commanding officer told you to do. Do what the guy higher rank told you what to do. No questions asked. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. No, sir. No, ma'am. And you go do it. Don't say, oh, I got a degree and I shouldn't have to shovel gravel. Just do it. Speaking of military, man, Nonstop Dre, 360, $2. Why do people say they want kids but not be parents? Do people actually say that? Well, they want it. Yeah. I mean, that's the ultimate. There, you're absolutely tone deaf. You're just saying, oh, I'm one of the most selfish, disgusting people on the face of the planet. I just want to pass on my genetic material, but I don't want to actually be responsible and raise it. Yeah. I don't know why they would say that. I think they're so tone deaf and stupid and amoral, they don't realize how evil they are. Jeremy Lewis, $5. At Michael, avoid wasting money on partying too much. In AIT, take other people's fire guard shifts for money. Jump on every detail to get random skills. Yeah, I guess just save the money. Eat at the barracks, sleep at the barracks. But he's National Guard, so I don't think he's going to be there a long ass time, right? El Tito, $20. Thank you for the 20 generous dollars, El Tito. Hey, Cappy, thanks for what you do. You've helped me realize why I haven't been able to fit in a world full of absolute retards and have since changed my view on life. Also, thanks for turning me on to Tom Likas. Saint Likas has saved many of us before we were even here. Saint Likas, yep. I'm glad of the many things I wish I could tell my younger self. Just how pointless and futile and stupid the value system was that was created in K through 12 education. The real reason you should not send your kids to the public schools and should homeschool them, yes, fine, you're going to get a better education, homeschool. But it is a mentally ill, a genuinely mentally toxic environment that the public schools are, where you send a bunch of kids together and they come up with this bullshit idolatry of we're going to worship brand names and this person's popular because they're doing the popular thing. And then you are an 18-year-old and it takes you, some people never get out of it. You still think it's about popularity and getting the right things, but popularity isn't the real world. The rules to win at a popularity game are not the same rules to win at surviving and becoming successful in life. The point that I'm trying to make. And so when you come out of it, yeah, this is lost in the desert phase, some of which lasts your entire life. We're like, but I got to get a car. I got to impress, the cool people, the cool kids in the 8th grade. There's sad motherfuckers still doing that now, and they're in my age. They're almost 50 years old. Look at this, man. Beamer, bro. Like, what the fuck? And by the way, a minimalism course is closed now. You missed it. But I have a sister companion course that's a little bit shorter, well, a lot shorter. And it talks about the true nature of wealth. It's called Achieving Financial Excellence. I should have maybe had a subtitle called In a Post-Popularity World or In the Real World. Something like that. Maybe that would have defined it a little bit further. But it talks about what is true wealth and how do you go about achieving it. And it's only like a 2-hour course. That's open for enrollment. I have it linked below, but you could search Achieving Financial Excellence on Teachable. You'll find it. But that right there, I don't know, would it be worth, what is it? I think it's $100. Would it have been worth $100 for you to, like, the day after you graduate from high school? Like, yeah, all that was bullshit. All the people you thought were assholes were assholes. They are all going to fail because here comes the real world, motherfuckers. And here's how the rules it operates by now. GS for $2, basic, stick in background, don't volunteer for stuff. So the other guy said to volunteer for stuff. Unless you said, like, you're going to take other people's shifts. Ruben, 20 generous dollars. Thank you, Ruben. Hey, Cappy, I'm being kicked out in 60 days. I'll be living on my own for the first time ever. And I'm terrified because I didn't go to college or anything, but I will work 2 jobs. So hopefully that's enough to keep going. Yeah, that's fine. To work 2 jobs. Yeah. I mean, don't spend $20 on super chats. That's the first thing I would do. Just a little free advice there that costs you $20. But if you're getting kicked out in 60 days, yeah, go find a cheap place to live. Preferably just find a room. You don't need anything more than that. I don't know where you live, but if you live in the South where it's warm, maybe you don't need a car. Maybe you can just get by on a bike or an electric bike. If you want, I have a VeloWave bike. I advertise. I really got to advertise it more, but I get a kickback. But if you can train, you don't have to worry about snow or the cold. Here you go. Welcome to adulthood. Don't spend more than you make. Work a lot. If you can work 2 full-time jobs, you won't have the money you won't have time to spend your money. You just go to sleep. With me and a lot of guys work at security, we feel like work these insane shifts. Weird way I miss it. And then you go through it, you would miss it. It would just take one shift. Like, yeah, I remember why I hated this. But we go to bed. You wake up, you do it all over again. And all of a sudden, a month of that goes by, and you're half asleep the entire time. All of a sudden, there's $3,000 more in $1995 than you thought you had. And like, oh, this is great. And then you won't be a pussy anymore. You'll be a real man. You'll support yourself. And once women find out you worked hard, you were good with your money, you were disciplined, and you were frugal, and you're a real man and supporting yourself, and even though you have a humble one, you just have a room that you're renting, the women they'll immediately recognize, like, wow, this guy worked hard. He's a good man. Imagine the places he's going to go. I like a man who's frugal with money, and now I'm going to have sex with him. And that's exactly what's going to happen. No, I'm kidding. It's not going to happen. They're going to go after these pussies who have rich parents and they can spend all their time at the gym. And they're, dude, bro, I'm jacked. It's like, yeah, you're jacked because your parents paid for shit. They're going to go after the guys who don't have money and they're just going to borrow money to get a car and flash the money with bottle service and whatnot. Those are the guys they're going to go for. However, you won't have this fear ever again in your life about being homeless. Matt Baker, 87 for $5 Canadian. Hey, Cappy, way to finish your book. Thank you. I thought I came in there. Entrepreneurship is apt. Running joke with the word. Considering the slew of imminent layoffs, keep it up. Keep it. What layoffs? Someone sent me a request about the layoffs, and I have to go and look at what happened to payroll claims or unemployment claims to see if there actually are layoffs. I mean, I know in industries there's layoffs, but economy-wide, I don't know. All right, link below. What the hell is link below? I have the menu, Life Without the Opposite Sex, because people are not going to be getting married or having children anymore. So you have to find out something that isn't materialism to give you purpose and meaning in life. I mean, I'm not saying a fun convertible won't make your life funner. Motorcycles will make you happier. That's the one material item that will make you happier. And then achieving financial excellence. That's also linked below. GS $5. Cappy. Other dude said volunteer AIT. That's the training school after basics. Big difference. In boot camp, you want to be anonymous. After that, volunteer. Okay, good advice, guys. Good advice. Yeah, this alphabet soup you guys of the military come up with, we don't know. All right, that's it. More on the way. See you guys later. Toodles.